Brakes are perhaps the most important part of your bike. If you want to come to a stop safely, they are essential. Now, we do recommend checking and maintaining your brakes before leaving for a ride, but if you do find they aren't performing correctly when out on the road, here are some top tips to adjust them. Now, as you use your brakes, the pads are going to wear with time. This is normal, but what you may find is that you won't be able to brake as powerfully as before. This is especially common if you've just completed a number of rainy rides on gritty roads where brake pad wear can be accelerated. If you are finding that when you pull your lever, it's getting really close to your handlebars, it's time to do a bit of adjustment. Now, to start off with, look to your barrel adjuster right here. Okay, so you need to tighten the barrel adjuster like this, which will in turn tighten the brake cable and bring those brake calipers closer to the braking surface of the wheel. So when you next go to brake, you won't have to pull on that lever quite as much. Okay, so if you have moved the barrel adjuster to its maximum position, you can't adjust it any further, then you're going to need to adjust the brake cable itself. So this is why it's always a great idea to bring a multi-tool with you on a ride, something we always recommend here at GCN. So to start off with, you're going to need to loosen this clamping bolt that attaches the brake cable to the brakes. Now tighten the barrel adjuster back down until it is one full turn from being completely locked in. Okay, next you need to just hold calipers together, roughly in the position you'd want them in before you're braking. So I'd normally go for kind of 0.5 centimetre away from the braking surface. Hold them there and then just simply clamp the brake cable once more. So tighten that clamping bolt, holding the cable in place. Then you should be in a good position to brake. If you need more adjustment, then you can then use the barrel adjuster again to tighten the brakes as you so wish. It may be that your brake pads are too worn, and a quick way of telling this is if there's only a millimetre or two hit the metal caliper which holds those brake pads in place. If this is the case, then we recommend finding a bike shop who'll refit some brake pads for you or buying some replacements yourself, because if your brake pads are worn, you won't have much braking performance left. Another common complaint when out on a ride are wonky pads. Now, this will affect your braking performance because not all of the braking surface will be hitting the brake pad, so you won't be getting the full force of friction when trying to stop. Also, it may be that the braking pad is touching the tyre, which could lead to a puncture or tear in the tyre wall. Okay, so you're going to need to get your multi-tool again and get the correct Allen key bolt that will fit in your caliper clamping bolt here. So loosen it off like so it's completely free and can move around. Then you want to pull your brakes, pull them tight and position the brake pad so it's correctly on the braking surface, and then carefully retighten that caliper bolt. But you want to do this carefully because you don't want to move that pad out of alignment as you're tightening that bolt. Okay, it may be that your brakes are moving off to one side, one pad is touching the rim. Now, to fix this, simply manually move the brake pads so that the wheel is central between the caliper. Now, if it's hard to do this, then you simply need to loosen the bolt, which attaches the caliper to your forks. Just loosen it half a turn, and then you should be able to move it manually into position. Okay, one last problem you may encounter is that when you're braking, one pad pulls a little more than the other, so that when you pull the brakes, say your right pad for instance comes across and touches the braking surface, but the left pad is still kind of not really touching the braking surface of the wheel. So there is a fix for this. So if you have a single mount brake caliper, then you'll have one screw on the side of your brakes right here. So you want to loosen this screw, which will adjust the tension inside the calipers. And you can visually see it moving as you release this tension. So unscrew it, and then it should be, once you get it in the right position, there'll be an equal force on the left and right when you brake. Okay, so I hope that's helped you fix your brakes if you're stuck out on the roadside. It's definitely fixed mine anyway, so I'm going to get off and get riding. If you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you have any more tips, please let us know in the comment section below. Right, I'm off because I've got to catch up with Hank now.